Hey there, my name is Amber and I'm so thrilled that you've made your way to my yoga videos. So most of these videos I do on Facebook Live first before I post them here on YouTube. So if you'd like to do them with me live, follow me at Kaleidoscope Yoga on Facebook and on Instagram for dates and times. But in the meantime, grab yourself a mat, some blocks, a blanket, maybe even a bolster, whatever it's going to take to make your practice accessible and comfortable for you, and I'll meet you on the mat. Thanks for being here. So go ahead and find that comfy seat. And then you can lift up through the spine. Take a nice deep breath in. And let it go. Let's do that again. Nice deep breath in. And release. Let whatever has come your way during the day just float on by. Give yourself this opportunity for the next hour just to be completely in your space right here in this moment. Sometimes it's the best gift we can give ourselves is just being right here, right now. So find your breath. And when I say that, you can find it a few different ways. You can locate the tip of your nose and just notice the breath as you breathe in and out. Maybe the breath feels a little bit cooler on the in-breath and a little bit warmer on the exhale. So you notice that feeling at the tip of the nose. And you can also notice the sound of the breath. So you might hear it in the back of the throat. And if you're familiar with it, you might pull in a very small ujjayi breath so you can get that audible noise in the back of the throat. Or you might just hear it in and out of the nostrils. And then another way you can connect with your breath is by finding that point of connection where your chest or your belly rises or falls on the inhale and exhale. And if your thoughts begin to wander, just bring it back to the breath. And believe me, they will over and over again. Just connecting with that soft breath and noticing the quality of the breath. I hope you're feeling relaxed, feeling like you're in a good space. If your breath feels like it's a little shallow, maybe you've had quite the day today and you're just now coming to your mat, it's the first time you've had an opportunity to relax, just be very gentle with yourself, and you can start to let the exhale be a little bit longer than your inhale. And we can just kind of signal to our nervous system that all is good. Maybe even bring a little smile to the lips. And then see if there is anything that is talking to you in your body. maybe your back or your legs, your neck. And when this happens, it's often a good practice to just acknowledge the sensation. Instead of trying to push it away like we so often do, let's give it an opportunity to be seen and felt. And just a few more breaths here, just kind of honing in on what is happening in the body and in the mind. And then let's please bring our hands together at heart space in Anjali Mudra. So the thumbs are against our chest, fingertips pointed towards our chin. And see if you can lengthen just a little bit more through the spine, maybe even connecting some in the belly. And then once you find that nice erect spine, go ahead and draw the chin down just a little towards your fingertips, honoring yourself for being here in your practice today. And if you find that it calls to you, go ahead and set an intention for your practice. And then once you've set your intention, just let it go. Let it be heard. And no worries if it comes to fruition. You've put it out there. It will eventually. So on your next inhale, let's draw the fingertips to the sky. So we're going to find space in the side body here, lengthening through the arms, letting the hips relax on the ground. And then just take an exhale here and let the shoulders soften. Big inhale, maybe another inch or two up. And then exhale, stretch to your right, anchoring that left hip. And then when you're ready for an inhale, softly engage the belly and draw yourself up. And then exhale to the opposite side, letting the right hip shift to the ground. Let's do that a few more times, inhaling up using your core, not your arms, to move. And then exhale, reach it out. Ooh, big crack in my back. Inhale, bring it back up. And release. Let's do that one more time. Big inhale in. Exhale to the right. And breathe it in one more time. And exhale to your left. Let's bring it up one more time on the inhale. And we're going to take our hands and clasp them together. Turn the palms up. Let that exhale release. Soften the shoulders, pressing up through the wrists to get a nice stretch through the forearms here. So we're going to play with a variation of cat-cow. Taking a nice deep breath in, and as you exhale, your hands are going to move forward and you're going to kind of round gently through the back, and the hands are just going to come about shoulder height. And then take an inhale, let that chest move forward. Maybe you find a gentle back bend, or maybe just reaching through the arms feels good enough for you. And then exhale, again, gently rounding through the spine. One more time, big breath in and up. Very good. And this time as you exhale, round through the spine and release the hands, and you can rotate them down, keeping that roundness in the spine. Hands coming to the knees, dropping the chin to the chest.
Hold here for one more breath. And then on your next inhale, you're going to keep the chin at the chest, but straighten up through the spine. Relax the shoulders back. And let's do what I like to call smileys. So you're going to take your chin and you're just going to draw it across your chest to your right shoulder, maybe taking an inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to drop it down all the way back to the left shoulder. And just go ahead and keep that going at your own pace, using your breath if it suits you. Few more. And then next time you get over to the right, go ahead and do a full circle. Nice and slow, please. And then once you rotate all the way back down in front of the chest, go ahead and go to the left. So switch it up. And let's just do that one more time each side. So looking to the right, finding that big circle. And last time to the left. Let the chin rest at the chest, and then as you inhale, head above heart, heart above pelvis. Let's take 3 deep breaths, and we're going to elevate our shoulders to our ears. Try not to drop the ears down to the shoulders. So when you're ready, taking an inhale, shoulders up, and let it go. 2 more, big breath in. And let it go. Last time, lifting those shoulders up, squeezing maybe through the arms this time. Whew, release it down. Let's go ahead and come into our tabletop position. So if you're sitting on a block, go ahead and move it out of the way. Find your tabletop position here. So spreading the fingertips nice and wide, finding that good foundation here. And pressing a little bit into the inner part of the wrists, and you'll feel activation in the thumb and maybe the index finger here. Toes are directly behind your knees. And we're just going to find a gentle sway from side to side here. So just kind of an organic movement. Good. Just getting into the side body a little bit more, maybe into those hips if they're feeling a little stiff, especially if you've been sitting all day. And then go ahead and come on back to center. And we're going to walk our hands out and take a puppy pose. So hands are going to come all the way to the end of the mat. Arms are outstretched. And we're going to drop our chest, our heart space to the floor, and letting our hips remain high. So not a child's pose. We're not dropping hips to heels, keeping the hips up. And forearms can come down to the ground if this is a little bit too much for you. And then rest your forehead down if you have that flexibility. You may even feel like you can tense your fingers. It's all just going to kind of depend on how it feels around the arms. So on your next inhale, dropping the forearms to the floor, and you're going to walk your hands back to your knees. And you can turn your toes under here if you'd like. Bring those knees close together. So toes under or toes up or down. It's your preference. So we're going to find a nice straight back here. We're going to find a little movement with our breath. So big inhale, fingertips to the sky. And exhale, float those hands down.
This time we're going to lift our booty up. So big inhale, fingertips to the sky. And as you exhale, you're going to sit back down. Sorry, somebody's feeling very restless. This time, bring it up on the inhale, and as you exhale, we're going to find child's pose. So we're going to connect to the core here, releasing all the breath. And then on your next inhale, you're going to roll yourself back into that seated position. Let's do that again. Big breath in, fingertips to the sky. And exhale, hands down. Lift the booty up this time. Big breath in, fingertips to the sky. And exhale, float it down. It's like Grand Central Station in here. Big breath in, this time lift it up. As you exhale, find your child's pose. Using that core for stability, reaching those fingertips out, stretching through the back, releasing all the breath. And then walk it back, or roll up through the spine. Let's do that one more time. Big breath in. Exhale down. And you can follow your hands with your gaze if you'd like. Big breath in, come up from the knees or from the hips. And exhale, float it back down. One more time, big breath in. Exhale, bow down. Find that child's pose. And find yourself a little bit of stillness here and take a couple of deep breaths, breathing into the back of the spine. Letting those shoulder blades move away from one another. And if you'd like, you can spread your knees and bring those big toes together to find a nice little space for the tummy to come into. So let's walk our hands to the right. And I'm going to ask that maybe you tense your fingers here this time. So we just kind of lift our palms up, also called spider fingers, and let your left hip kind of dip down to the ground. We're finding a little bit more space in the side body here. And just find your breath. Hello. One more breath here. Deep inhale into the spine. And as you exhale, float yourself back to center and allow yourself a full breath here. Put the arms wherever it feels comfortable. Big inhale and exhale. And then on your next inhale, you're going to wander to the right, left this time. Keeping those fingers tented, letting the right hip dip down towards the ground. One more big breath here. And then when you're ready, float back to center. Give yourself that full breath. And actually this time, let's draw the elbows to the ground. Bring the palms together in prayer. And draw those palms above the back of the head here so we get a little stretch through our triceps. Take two more deep, nourishing breaths here. Releasing the palms. Let's stretch those fingertips out, lift the hips up, turn our toes under, and find our first downward facing dog. Lifting up through the hips, letting that belly kind of pull in. Kind of sending those hips up just a little bit more.
This is your first down dog and you've been sitting around all day or even on your feet all day, go ahead and walk your heels up and down. It's called walking the dog. And just get a nice little stretch through the calves as we begin some movement here. Pressing into the fingertips and shooting the power up from the palms all the way to the shoulders. Small external rotation at the top of the shoulders and pressing into that inner wrist. Building that foundation. And then when you're ready, we're just going to take little baby steps here up to the front of the mat. And this is a nice place to use your block if you're still tight in the hamstrings or your low back is talking to you. A flat back is a little bit more comfortable than just hanging all the way down. So pressing into the toes and then resting into the heel a little bit, just connecting to the whole sole of the foot, that foundation that holds you up all day long. Relaxing the neck and the shoulders. Maybe you find a little yes or no in the neck. And then from here, we're going to take a flat back. So breathe in, lengthen from the crown of the head through the hips down the spine, and exhale, float the hands down. This time, weight into the heels, connect to your glutes and start to roll yourself up. And you're going to want to connect to your belly too to protect your low back. Nice and slow, and then bring the hands all the way up. Bring those palms together, and on the exhale, we're going to go ahead and float down the midline all the way to forward fold again. Take a nice deep inhale, flat back. And we're going to exhale, palms to the mat, bending the knees, right foot back, left foot back, finding plank. And you're welcome to take a half plank here, dropping the knees down if you'd like, or you can do a nice strong plank. And we're going to hold here for 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and bring the knees down if you haven't already, and softly roll yourself down, elbows to your waist. Palms are beside your chest. Go ahead and bring those toes pointed out towards the outer parts of the mat. We're going to press into the pubic bone. Take a nice deep inhale, hug those shoulder blades to spine, and find your baby cobra. And release on an exhale. 2 more times, lift it up. And exhale, release. Lift it up. Exhale, bring those feet together. On an inhale, push yourself up. Find your child's pose. We're just going to relax here for a breath or 2. And then we're going to run through that cycle 1 or 2 more times. So take 1 more breath here. And then when you're ready, when you're inhaling, draw yourself back to tabletop. Press into those palms and lift yourself into downward facing dog. Walk the dog again, and this time, maybe you can add a little hip sway. See if you can find something different in this downward facing dog than you had discovered in the last one. Find a little playfulness maybe this time, or maybe this time you feel like stillness. We're going to take 1 more breath here, and then we're going to walk our feet forward. Finding that forward fold. Hunkering down into the soles of the feet, connecting to that precious foundation. Relaxing the neck and the shoulders. And this time, let's just find a gentle sway from side to side, just for a couple of breaths. You can let the arms dangle, or you can hug the elbows with the palms of the hands. And then come to center. Take a nice deep inhale, find that flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, roll yourself up, hands to the sky. Palms together, exhale down the center line, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, palms to the mat, right foot back, left foot back. Find that plank. Remember, you want your wrists underneath your shoulders. So we're going to hug in through the belly. And in plank, your butt's not up. You want to find a nice straight line, as straight as the human body can allow at least. We got some lumps and bumps back there, but all right, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it on down. Turn those toes out. We want a nice external rotation in the hips. Press that pubic bone into the ground, and when you're ready, hugging elbows to waist, take a nice deep inhale and connect to your glutes too as you lift up. And hugging those shoulder blades to spine, exhale, relax. 2 more times, breathe it in and up. Exhale, release. Last time, breathe it in and up, hugging shoulder blades to spine. Feel that strength. And exhale, release. Push it up, take it to tabletop, big inhale. Exhale, find your child's pose. This time, go ahead and take your fingertips and bring them towards your toes and let your shoulders just fully relax down. Take 2 full breaths here. And then nice and slow, draw yourself into tabletop position. Knees under hips, toes behind the knees, hands and wrists under your shoulders. Let's take a couple of cat-cows here. Nice deep breath in, dropping the belly, hips and gaze to the sky. And then exhale, finding your cat. And you don't have to round or drop the belly down as far as you can go. I mean, if you just feel like doing a tiny little movement, that is fine. Listen to your body. And just keep it going. A few more breaths here. Just enjoying the space that you're creating. And then come on back to neutral after your next cat. And we're going to find our downward dog again. Turn those toes under, lift up through the knees. And again, or through the hips, I mean. And again, go ahead and find a little bit of movement or something that you didn't discover the last time. And then we're going to anchor down our left heel. Now it doesn't have to come to the ground, but you're going to just put a little bit of extra pressure in that heel to draw it towards the ground. Press into the fingertips and the palms, lengthening up the arms through the hip, and then take a nice deep inhale and bring that left leg up, finding your 3-legged dog. Rotate through that left ankle, and then we're just going to take a breath. And we're going to bend our knees so our heel comes towards our booty. And we're going to open up that side hip. So you're going to stack the left hip on top of the right. And then exhale, bring it down. We're going to do 2 more of these. Inhale, lift that hip, stacking it up. And exhale down. 1 more time. Up and stack. And exhale, bring it back to normal. Straighten out the leg. Take 1 more deep inhale, and on your exhale, you're going to float that left foot forward. And we're going to find a high lunge here. So if you want, you can drop your back knee. It's completely up to you. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take kind of a lizard variation. We're going to drop our back foot kind of at a 45-degree angle, and we're going to walk our hands off our mat. So what you may feel here is a deeper stretch in the inner thigh, in the groin area, and then we want our left knee to stay above our ankle, so we don't want it dipping towards our hands. So the legs are strong, and we're going to let our hips kind of dip back as well as we press into the floor and almost draw the fingertips away from the hips. So then you might be getting a pretty decent stretch on the left side of the body as well. Pressing into the side angle of the right foot and then the big toe. So we got a lot of stuff going on here. Find your breath, keep it soft. One more breath here. So walk your hands in just a little bit, straighten out that left leg, and you're going to walk your feet so the feet are parallel. So you're going to be long on your mat now, and we're going to be in this kind of forward fold position. So bring your feet to about a 45-degree angle, or just tilt them out a little bit, enough that it helps the knees become a little bit more comfortable. And we're going to start this gentle sway. So you're going to use your hands for support and walk yourself over to your right side. And again, left foot's going to be flat. You're going to feel it on the inner thigh here. And then on an inhale, you're going to wander yourself through center and exhale into your left knee. Keep it going. Inhale, draw it up. Exhale, bending into that right knee. Inhale, draw it up. And exhale into that left knee. So go ahead and inhale back to center. And we're going to walk that right foot up maybe about a foot. And we're going to turn ourselves towards the front of the mat. And you may need to bring up that right foot just a little bit more. This is going to be a great space for you to use your blocks if you're super tight in the hamstrings. So this is pyramid pose. And I like to find a flat back in this position to start out, just because I do have super tight hamstrings. So I have to kind of really breathe into the space before I draw my nose down towards my knees. So this is that's up to you and your flexibility. But we want to be strong in both legs. We want to feel the weight distributed evenly through the soles of both feet. So make sure that that is happening. And then your front knee, if you feel tightness in the back of it, give it a little bend. And then once you get yourself situated, your shoulders and neck are relaxed, go ahead and draw that right hip forward. So your left hip is going to automatically go back, and you might feel a little bit more in that left leg. And notice if your big toe pops up off the mat a little bit, and press it back down. And find your breath here. Just take 3 more breaths. And if you are feeling like you want to, you can go ahead and soften down a little bit closer to your knee with your nose. One more breath. Bend gently into that front knee. Walk that right foot forward. So I invite you to just find a little bit of movement through the hips here, a little side to side sway. And then come to center. Press into the foundation of your feet. Let your arms relax. Take a nice deep inhale and bring yourself up. Roll it all the way up. Fingertips to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart space. We're just going to take a couple of moments here just to notice the body, feel the breath. Maybe you can tap into your heartbeat here. Maybe honing in on that intention that you set at the beginning of class. See if there's any space in the body that needs to be softened. I just noticed I was really clenching in my knees. Let that space relax. A few more breaths here. Relaxing the shoulders, softening the space between the eyes. And when you're ready, on your next inhale, draw the fingertips up. And exhale down the midline, back to forward fold. Take a nice deep breath in, find your flat back. And exhale down. So palms to the mat, and this time we're going to bring our left foot behind us. And again, you're welcome to drop that back knee if you'd like. And we're going to walk our hands over to the left, and we're going to bring them off the mat. Drop that back foot at about a 45-degree angle. And don't ever be afraid to make adjustments. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. We don't want it necessarily to be perfect. So make any adjustments you need to. And remember, we want to keep that right knee from dumping in. So pressing into that foot strong through the legs. And then reach those hands out. Let the hips sink back. Take a few deep breaths here. And then when you're ready, walk those hands back to center. And you're going to go ahead and bring your feet parallel to each other. And I'm going to turn so you guys don't have to stare at my booty this whole time. Good. So finding that forward fold, point those toes about a 45-degree angle. And then go ahead and begin to stretch. So taking an inhale and moving towards the left leg. Pressing into the sole of the right foot, getting a nice deep stretch in the inner thigh, and then inhaling back to center, and exhaling to the right. And then breathe it in, and release. And then one more time, breathe it in, exhale, find that nice side stretch. And then go ahead and start to rotate back towards the front of the mat. And you're going to walk that left foot up just a little bit. And we're going to find that pyramid pose. So the right leg is pretty straight, maybe a little bend in the knee. Pressing into the sole of the back foot, relaxing the shoulders and the neck. Again, just listening to the body. And then once you get yourself settled, let that left hip draw forward so that right hip drops back just a little. And then check in on that right big toe, pressing it back into the ground. And then finding your breath. if you'd like, you can move yourself all the way with the nose coming towards the knee if you haven't already. Relaxing the head. And then very slowly dropping into that front knee and bringing that left leg to meet the right. And this time, go ahead, if it feels good, and bring your arms behind your legs. And you can bend your knees generously here, maybe wrapping the hands around your elbows, opposite elbow. And then start to stand up a little bit and stretch through that low back, up through the hips and the booty, relaxing the neck and the shoulders, pressing into the soles of the feet. One more big breath here. Let those hands go. Bring them to the mat. Go ahead and bend the knees generously, dropping down to your knees. And we're going to go ahead and rotate down onto our backs. We're just going to work a little on our core before we exit today. So go ahead and draw the knees into the belly, into the chest, and find a nice gentle rock from side to side. Rotate through the ankles. And then go ahead and draw the knees above your hips. So the idea here is we want to keep our low back pressed to the ground. So if you need to draw your knees in a little bit to make that happen, I kind of do. Do it, because the most important thing here is that our low back is flat to the ground. Drawing your hands up, so we're going to kind of take a cue from dead bug here. Engage through the belly. And when you're ready, we're going to take an inhale, and we're going to reach the arm behind us and the leg in front of us. And then exhale, draw it to center. Use that core. Inhale, open. Exhale, bring them together. Keep it going. Inhale, open. Exhale, together. If bringing your leg all the way out is not available to you, just do what you can do. There's many variations in between point A and point Z. Just find what works for your body. Keep that low back pressed to the ground. A few more. Let's do one more each side, and I think we started on the left. So ending on the right. Bringing hands to knees. Let the knees kind of relax away from you. Take a nice deep inhale here. And as you exhale, you're going to pull your knees in. Inhale, pull the knees away from you. And then exhale, draw those knees in. One more time, reach away and pull them in. So from here, go ahead and roll to one side. Doesn't matter which side. We're going to keep the knees bent. So we're kind of in this little fetal position. And then you're going to open up through the left side of the body. So the left arm's going to open up. You're going to open up through the heart space. And you can kind of wiggle your right shoulder towards your knees.
And then we're not going to be here too long. We're going to take about 5 breaths. So locate any space that feels like it's holding tension and send your breath there lovingly. If this does not feel very good on your back, you can always put a blanket in between your knees. That tends to help a little bit. Or you can put something underneath your low knee, your bottom knee. Take one more big breath, filling the belly and the chest. And sigh it out. Good. Hugging into the belly gently, go ahead and roll back to center. Hugging those knees in for just a moment. You can find a gentle rock from side to side. And then go ahead and roll to the opposite side. Keeping those knees up. And then opening up through the right side or whatever side you're on. And you can notice one side may reach the ground, one side might not. That's pretty normal. Again, take a few moments to see if you can find any space that feels intense or tight. And just send your breath there. Try to relax. Offer yourself up 2 more deep breaths here. And then when you're ready, soft engagement in the belly. Roll yourself back into center. Getting yourself in the middle of your mat again and drawing those knees in one last time. Maybe this time you give yourself a big hug, wrapping the arms around the shins or reaching for the toes, drawing the head to the knees. Taking a big breath in, and as you exhale, extend the legs out and extend the arms out above your head. Take a huge stretch, and while you're here, engage all your muscles. Even lemon squishy face. Breathing in, and then when you're ready to relax, soften everything as best as you can. Maybe even letting the feet be a little bit wider on the mat to give the legs lots of space to just drop open. Find a space for your arms, wherever that feels comfortable for you, to rest for the next few minutes as we take our final resting pose, Savasana. And as you rest down, let your breath be your guide. As you sink with each exhale a little bit closer to the mat, to the ground, to the supportive earth beneath you. Surrendering all that has already been today. Releasing any last fragments that remain.
allowing you to just be here in this moment. If you'd like, you can stay here and rest for a little longer. Otherwise, you can begin to connect a little bit deeper with the breath. Noticing the rise and fall of the belly. Start to find a little wiggle in the fingers and the toes. And then slowly roll yourself to one side, taking a couple of breaths. And then finally making your way into an upright seated position. Let's bring our hands to our heart space, back in Anjali Mudra. Once again, honoring ourselves for showing up for practice today. Thank you so much for being here. It's such an honor to be able to extend a practice out to you, from my home to yours. Namaste.